Hello and welcome back to my channel of free trade analysis. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel and also click on the bell icon if you want to receive regular intraday trades and if you want to stay updated with the forex markets. We analyze several forex pairs, currencies, and indices, and we do it on a regular basis so we do not miss any profit that the market might be giving to us. Okay, so now let us discuss the yesterday scenarios from where we left off, and we will continue with fresh scenarios as well. Okay, so first of all we will do the dollar analysis as per our routine, and which is also the DXY analysis. So let's start our discussion for today. As we were discussing yesterday, when we were discussing, the market was approximately somewhere over here, and we gave you several trades, and some of those are already executed. Okay, first of all, we gave you a trade that if the market respects this area, then maybe we can go long. But as you can clearly see, if you would have gone long over here, your stop loss would have been hit. Okay, then we gave you another trade, which was that if this area is broken, then maybe you can go short. And as you guys can clearly see, when this area was broken, we could easily have gone short. Okay, let me just zoom in for you guys so you guys can have a better idea. As you guys can clearly see, when the market broke this area, we could have easily gone short over here. So let us check the profit that we could have made from this trade. Our stop loss would be just above this, and our TP would be approximately over here. So let me just check out the is this would be a short trade, but still it would be profitable. Okay, somewhere around here would be our stop loss. So let me just reduce it further. Okay, so this would be this trade would have given us a profit of 1.5% approximately. So even if we would have hit a stop loss on one of these trades, our loss would have been covered with this trade already. Now let's discuss the other scenarios that we give to you. Another scenario was given to you that if market closes above this area, then maybe we could go short straight away. And you guys can clearly see when market closed above this area, we could have gone long. Now let us move to the 15 minutes time frame so we can better identify the area to go long. Okay, as you guys can clearly see that this is the candle when the market was broken, and we could have gone long from here. Okay, now let me take a sample trade once again so we can have a better idea that at least how much profit did we guys make from this trade. Okay, this is approximately 0.99, which is approximately 1% profit. Okay, 1% profit till here. Okay, so if we would have taken an entry over here, then we could have made 1% from percent profit from this trade as well, and 1.5% profit from the previous trade, and minus 1% from the initial stop loss that would have been hit. So now let's go back. So far what we have discussed, that two of our scenarios have been positive and have given a good result to us. And now let's discuss the good selling setup that came into play. And now let's as and I gave you as a wonderful scenario from here that if market enters this area and then closes below this area, then we could go short over here. So let me once again go to the 15-minute chart, and you guys can clearly see that when market went entered in this area and once again closed below this area, where we could have gone short and we could have made a good profit out of it. Even if we would have hit one of our stop loss over here, still if we would have made another entry over here, we would be still in good profit till here. Okay, so let me take a short position just for the safety purpose. Let's assume that we hit one of our stop loss over here and we entered our second trade over here, and our stop loss would be just above this candle, and our take profit would be approximately around here. So this is a good approximately 3.2% profit. So even if we hit one stop loss back here, still it is a 2.2% profit from these two trades. Okay, now the final trade that we gave to you guys was, if the market enters this support area and market closes above this area, then we could have gone long. And you guys can clearly see that market respected our given level in a wonderful way, and market entered the zone and then closed above this area, and then we could have gone long over here. Okay, now once again, for to take a trade, we would open a 15-minute chart, and you guys can clearly see when market entered this area and market closed above this area over here. Okay, now let me open the long position from here, and let me just mark my stop loss, and my take profit would be approximately over here, which is a good 1.85%. And if you guys have not closed this trade, you guys would still be running in good profit. So overall we made approximately 4 to 5% at least profit from the trades that were given yesterday, which is a very good profit given any pair that we can possibly study in one day. So these intraday trades were executed in a good manner. Now let's discuss further that what sort of trades would we be having tomorrow. Okay, now some of our scenarios are gonna remain same. For example, this buying setup is still in play, and this area is also still in play. As you guys can clearly see, that market has respected this zone. So let me just remove this selling setup. Okay, and this setup is also still valid. So more or less what I am assuming is that this area would be broken tomorrow. Okay, so I am assuming that market would close above this area. So let me just make some better trade ideas for you guys. So what could happen tomorrow is that a similar scenario can happen tomorrow, something like this. Okay, so just wait and watch that if market respects this area once again and market closes above this area, then maybe we can go long once again from here. In order to sell this pair, we have to wait for this area to be broken, which I am not hoping that it would be broken. Let me open the 4-hour chart. If at any point I can yes, I can clearly see that market is kind of consolidating in this pair. Now what I have in what we can say is that this area is still critical. If the market closes below this area, maybe we can go short from here. And if market closes above this area, we have to wait and watch if this area is broken. Let me just remove this arrow so we can have a better idea as what the market is going to do. So let me give a better selling setup so we can have a We can let me give you a selling scenario in a better way. Like market goes up here once again and respects this area, then maybe we can go short if market closes below this area. Okay, so there that would be our selling setup. Okay, let me just change its color to red so we can have a better idea. Okay, so this would be one of our selling areas to sell from. So we have to be careful if the market enters over here, we have to sell from here. Okay, so unless this area is broken, then we are gonna look for a buying scenario. Okay, and let's hope that these scenarios are executed tomorrow, and let's hope for a good result. The best buying area would be if the market enters this area again and we get a good buying opportunity. Okay, so now let's move on to the next pair, which is the Euro USD, and let's see that what happened in this pair since we last discussed. Okay, so when we were discussing this pair yesterday, we gave you market was approximately over here, and we gave you the trades that if this area, this whole area was acting as area of resistance, and you guys can clearly see that this area was broken. But once again, when market entered this area, then market collapsed beautifully. Okay, so even if you had taken a trade while looking at this area, you guys could have made a profit till here. And if you guys would have gone short when this area was broken, and then you guys could have made a good profit till here. And if you guys would be vigilant, then I marked this area especially for all of you that this is a critical support zone, which was a short-term support zone, and you guys can clearly see that this area has been respected beautifully, and that even though the market tried to break past this area, but when the market closed above this area, we could have gone long from here, and you guys could have made a good profit till here. So these are good percentage profit that we could have easily made. And I also gave you guys a trade that if the market enters this area and market closes below this area, then we could have gone short. So even this trade would have given us at least 1% profit. Now let's see that how much profit would we have made from the first of all the long position. The long position that was executed was that this area was respected and we could have entered over here. Rather over here. Okay, so our percentage profit would be exact somewhere around here. Our stop loss would be approximately over here. So this was a good 7.6% profit. Okay, this would be your first buying setup, and when this top was hit and market closed below this support zone, we could have gone short from here. And now let us enter the 15-minute chart for these trades so we can have a better idea. Okay, so when market closed below this area, for example over here, then we would have gone short from here, but our stop loss would have been hit over here. Now once again, when market closed below this area, we would go short over here. Okay, so let me take a short position from here. Since I am teaching to all the beginners, so I try to keep all my trades uh, very simple. Okay, very simple trading rules. So we hit a previous 1% stop loss and we hit a 2.8% profit in this trade. So overall we stay in good profit. Okay, and previously we already made 7% profit, so from the 9% profit, only 1% stop is hit. So I don't think that we would mind that at any given point of time. So when I say that you have to trade on double bottoms, you guys can clearly see that when this bottom was made, this was our first bottom. And now you guys can clearly see when this bottom was tested again over here, then this was our entry point and we could have entered from here. So let me just check the long position so you guys can have a better idea that how much profit we would have made from a simple long entry from here. Okay, our take profit would be approximately till here, and our stop loss would be approximately till here. Okay, so it is a good okay, so it is a good 6.5% profit. So this was a very simple trade and you guys could have easily made good profit out of it. And then we gave you this area of resistance, that if market enters this area and then market closes below this area, we would take a sell entry from here. Okay, now let me take this trade for you guys so you guys can have an idea that how much profit you guys could have made from this simple selling setup. Okay, this would be our stop loss and our take profit would be approximately here. So this is a good 4.7% profit. So overall euro USD followed our patterns beautifully, and it executed several setups, and we made good profits from this euro USD pair. Okay, now let us study next move that we can have for tomorrow. And let me remove all the drawings so you can have a clear idea as what could happen tomorrow. Okay, so I'm gonna remove all the drawings, and now first let us see that what the 4-hour chart is saying to us. The 4-hour chart is clearly giving us a selling scenario. And the buying setup has not yet come into play, just these areas getting respected again and again. So now let us go back to the, and now first we should mark the areas of resistance. Okay, this is an area of resistance for us. So once again the market has entered this area of resistance and respected this area. The next area of resistance would be approximately over here, but let's wait and watch if this area is respected in any time soon. So our short-term support would be over here. Okay, let me change its color to green so we can have a clear picture. Our long-term support is over here. Okay, this is our long-term support zone. So these are all based on the 4-hour chart. Now let's move to the 1-hour chart to mark our areas of recent resistance and recent support zones. Okay, so the most recent support area is this, and most recent top or what you can say area of resistance is this. Okay, so now let me check if any of these setups might come into play tomorrow. Now first of all, let us look for a short buying opportunity. Okay, rather than first let us look for a good selling opportunity. The market goes up there and respects this area and closes below this area, maybe we could go short. And on the other hand, if market just closes below this area, we could go short straight away. And thirdly, let us see that if the market tends to respect this area, and then market bounces above, then maybe we could go long from here. Okay, so this is a second setup. So I am gonna mark this in green color. So guys, what I would love to see is that if market breaks past this area and respects this area again tomorrow, and then once again bounces back from here, so this would be a good buying area. So, and if we are a risky buyer, then if the market closes above this area, maybe we could go long straight away from here. Okay, now let's just wait and watch that what market has in store for us. But as you guys can clearly see that this area has not been taken out, but this recent low has been taken out. Now I am assuming that market would go down and test this area. So if we are gonna go short, then I am assuming that another area that might come into play would be something like this. Market goes short from here, and then market respects this area, and then market closes below this area. Okay, so let me change its color to green so we can have a better idea as what I'm trying to say. Now just let's wait and watch if this setups are executed, and if we are a risky seller we can go short straight away if the market closes below this area. Okay, now just let's wait and see that what market has in store for us, and this is a good area for buying if at any given point, given point of time, then market enters this area of support. Okay, so now let's move on to the next pair, which is GBPUSD, and let's see that what market that how market behaved uh, from the support or the resistance areas. Okay, so when we were discussing GBP USD tomorrow, you guys can clearly see that market was over here, and we gave you a buying opportunity if this area was respected, and you guys can clearly see that market went above this area and once again respected this area again and again closed above this area. So this setup was executed perfectly, and we could have made a selling buying from here, and then we gave you a selling opportunity from this support area, this resistance zone. Okay, so you guys can clearly see that these arrows were exactly placed over here. You guys can see that market tested this area and closed below this area. We could have gone short from here and made good profit. Okay, so now the third setup or the fourth setup that we gave to you was that if market just closed below this area, we could have entered in a selling setup, and you guys can clearly see that when market closed below this area, market went further down. Okay, and another super setup for a risky seller was that if just simply market would close below this area. You can clearly see that both these setups were executed perfectly. If you were a risky seller, you would enter here, and if you were a safety seller, you would have sold over here. Okay, so both of these trades were executed, and let me see if the buying opportunity worked. This trade did not really come into play, so we are not really gonna have a look at this area. But now let us see that how much profit did we made from the trades that we gave to you guys. Okay, so first of all, the buying setup that was from here. So simply we could have entered from this point, and this would be our stop loss. So a simple profit of 2.3% would have come out from this trade. Okay, next would be a selling setup from here. When the market respected this area, we could have gone short from here, and this would be our tentative stop loss, and our take profit would be approximately over here, which is a good 7.6%. So this is huge profit. 2.3% in the previous trade and 7.3 over here. So this just makes it more than 9% profit from the two simple trades that we gave to you guys. And furthermore, if you were a risky seller, then maybe you could have entered from here, then this would be a huge stop loss, but still you guys could have made a good profit till here, which is approximately 1%. If you were a risky seller does not make any profit. And let's go to the 15 minutes chart for a safe selling entry. As you guys can clearly see that if you were a safety seller, we gave to you that if market closed above below this area, then market once again respected this area, and market closed below this area again, then we would enter over here. Okay, so let me just take a short trade from here for you guys. So let's assume that this would be our stop loss and our take profit would be approximately over here. So this trade would have given us a 3.4% profit, which is amazing. Okay, so approximately 9, 10, 11 to 12, more than 12% profit would have been easily booked in this GBP USD pair. The pound has been great and has followed our patterns perfectly, and we have made huge profits. Okay, so now let's discuss what we have for tomorrow, and let me just remove all the previous drawings so we can discuss fresh setups. Okay, so first of all, let us go to the 4-hour chart. So let us have a look at the 4-hour chart. That what does it show to us? As you guys can clearly see, that 4-hour chart is still in a good selling setup, and it is making new lows, and it has made a new low today as well. So what we are looking at is yes, this was today's low, and previously low was over here. So let me just assume that how the market is trading. So let me just make a trend line, for example, from here, but this trend line is only tested twice. So this would not really come into play. Let me see if this trend line touches this. Okay, so now the trend line is perfect. So now this trend line has been tested once, twice, thrice, and for the fourth time over here. Now let's assume that if market touches this area, we are gonna go look for some short trades over here. And let us assume that how much do we have any recent areas of support? No, GBP USD does not have any recent area of support. Let me go to the 1-day chart. You guys can clearly see that in the daily chart we have some support area present over here. So what we can do is that we can mark this area, rather this area of support for us, so we can have a clear picture that there is a good chance that market can rise from this area. Okay, so I am stretching this chart so we can have, yes, so we can have a better understanding how much how far are we from this area to be tested. And I think that this area is really close, and this area would be tested really soon. Okay, so let me go back to the 4-hour chart and see that this area is about to be tested. And now let me go to the 1-hour chart and form the recent areas of support and resistance, so we can have our intraday scenarios come into play once again. Okay, so what do we have? We have several short-term areas of support and resistance. The most recent area of resistance is this area. Okay, so I am going to mark this in red color. Then after this, the next most recent area of resistance is this area. Okay, So as you can clearly see that if at any point, any given point market has this areas, then we can maybe go short from here. Now these are our area of interest. This is another area of resistance, and this is the most recent area of support. Okay, so I am assuming that market will test this area once again, and maybe we can go long if the market respects this area tomorrow as well. Okay, so the short-term resistance, let me mark, the short-term support and resistance would be approximately over here. This would be a resistance, and short-term support would be approximately over here. So this would be our area of support. So now let's assume that if market is would follow our scenario, then maybe if market tests this area again, then maybe we can go long from here. And let me change its color to green. Okay, and if we are a risky buyer, then if market closes above this area, maybe we can go long straight away. But this is highly unlikely to happen. Most likely, what I am looking at is if this area is respected and market closes below this area, then maybe we can go short. Yes, then maybe we can go short from here. And the second setup would be that if market respects this area once again, and then maybe we can go short once again. Okay, so we have to be vigilant and watch for any movement from here. Another selling setup might come into play if market respects this area and market goes over here. And similarly, if market at any given point of time touches our trend line and closes below this, then maybe we can go short from here. Okay, so now let us have another selling setup that might come into play. That would be if market closes below this area, maybe we could go short straight away. And if we are a safety seller, then maybe we will wait for market to close below this area, then respect this area once again, and then market would close below this area and we will go short from here. Okay, so these scenarios would might come into play tomorrow, so we only have to be vigilant and take our risks accordingly. Okay, so this is the GBPUSD analysis for tomorrow, and now let's move on to the next pair, which is gold. So in gold, since we analyzed this pair yesterday, what we have over here? Okay, so we gave you a trade that if market respects this area and closes above this area, maybe we could go long and make some small profit. You guys can clearly see we would have made small profit over here. But and another setup that we gave to you guys was that when market closes below this area and market respects this area again, maybe we could go short. And that has happened over here, and if you were a risky seller, then maybe you could have gone short when market closed below this area. That would be very less profit, but still any profit still counts as profit. And another setup that we gave was that if market enters this zone and market closes above this zone, then maybe we could go long over here. And you guys can clearly see market entered this area and then market broke past and then once again entered this area again, and then market closed above this area, then maybe we could have gone long till here and made good profit. Now let's take the sample trade so we can have a better idea as how many trades were executed. So let me move to the 15 minutes chart and we can have a better idea as how many trades were executed in a good way. So market was over here and the market tested this area So what had happened when we gave you this trade that market would test this area, and you guys can clearly see market tested this area over here and closed above, and then market tested this area once again. So how much profit did we make from here? Let me just take a sample trade and we can have an idea. Okay, so this would be profit would be approximately 1.2 or approximately 1.38. Okay, so this would be easy 1.38% profit from this buying. And now another setup was given that if the market closed below this area, then and we were a risky seller, we would have gone short straight away till here. So now let's take this selling trade so we can have an idea that how much profit would we have made if this trade was executed. Okay, so this is approximately 1.2% profit from here if we were a risky seller, and if we were not a risky seller, then we would have definitely sold from here. This after a retest from here, and then how much profit would we have made? Now let me just check. And so now let's see that this would be our stop loss and our take profit would be approximately till here. Okay, this is a good 3.6% profit. Okay, so three trades were executed perfectly, and a buying setup was given that if this area was respected and the market would closed above this area, if you would have gone long over here, then your stop loss would be hit. But once again, when this area closed above this zone, then you guys could have made some good profit. So let me take a trade from here approximately, and this would be our take profit, and our stop loss would be approximately over here. So this is a good 1.8% profit. So overall in these 3 to 4 trades that were executed, we made approximately 4% profit. Even if we exclude one of our stop loss that we just mentioned, then still 3% profit would have been taken from this trade only by taking the scenarios considered that we gave to you guys. Okay, now let me remove all the previous drawings and let me make the fresh chart for you guys. So you guys can clearly see that in the 1 hour chart, okay, if let us study the 4 hour chart first. Okay, so we can clearly see that the selling is still happening, and we do not have any retracement for today, and we made a new low, and it is currently at nearly at that level. So now let's assume that what could happen tomorrow. Okay, now let me open the 1 day chart, and as you guys can clearly see that this low has been taken out already. Now this low is about to be tested tomorrow. Okay, so if this area is tested tomorrow, then maybe we could look for a good buying opportunity from here. And what could be our recent, this would be our recent swing high, this would be our swing high. Okay, let me change its color to red, and our recent area of resistance would be this area. This is in the daily chart. Now let us go to the 4 hour chart and see that what market is doing with us. Okay, so as you guys can clearly see that we had a small level of resistance over here, but now it is acting as an area of resistance. So let's just wait and watch at what market has in store for us. So, and I am making this area as an area of support. So now let me make a few more changes, or rather I'm going to mark this area as an area of resistance for us. So this is the recent area of resistance. So now let us assume that what the market is going to do with us tomorrow. So if market breaks below this area and we are a risky seller, maybe we could go short from here straight away. And but if we are a non-risky seller, then we can wait for market to close below this area and then market to respect this area once again and then market to close below this area. So that would be a non-risky sell. And another selling setup would come into play. Market visits this area and respects this area and then market closes below this area. Okay. And now let's discuss some buying scenarios that might come into play. If market just straight away closes above this area, we could go long over here if we are a risky buyer. So now, and if we are, and if we look at the setup of buying from here, then if the market respects this area and then market once again closes above this area, then maybe we could go long from here as well. Okay, so these two would be our buying setups. Now I am going to mark another area of resistance which is very recent and it is this area. So if at any given point somehow market manages to enter over here, then we will look for a good selling opportunity from here as well. And if market reaches over here as well, then still we are going to look for a good selling opportunity. Okay, so and one major area of support is this area. If market enters this area, then we are going to look for a good buying opportunity. As previously, this area was respected and tested again. So this is a beautiful area of support, and since this is an area of support in the daily, so there is a huge chance that market is going to reverse from this support area. So just be very vigilant and be careful while trading gold tomorrow. Gold might test this area and go up from here. Okay, so these are our trades for today. So now let's just wait and watch that which of these scenarios are executed. So we will be making some good profits together. If you have made some profits from any of the given scenarios that I had mentioned already, then please like my channel and subscribe to it, and also do not forget to click on the bell icon so you do not miss on any profit making opportunity that I give to you guys on daily basis. Okay, so that's all for today, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you.